Hi everyone, it's Tonya Gibbs with Psycho Mom Scrapbooks, and today I want to bring to you a holiday organizer that I created using the Teresa Santa's list. And this is not a December daily type project. Instead, this is something to help trap receipts, coupons, lists, organizing my day-to-day December, like just where are we going to be? December tends to be a whirlwind of events and activities, and this is a way for me to keep it all organized, wish lists and things like that, meal planning, that kind of thing. So I started this about 4 years ago, and it turned into such a treasure because I can keep notes in here. It's a great place to trap receipts, like I said. Keep up with who's supposed to get what, cards, that kind of thing. It's just, December's just crazy. So I need to, I'm a list maker, and this helps me keep things in one spot. So what I did for my base is I used one of these notebooks. This is from Avery. It's a 6x9 notebook, and it's 1 inch on the spine. You can find them at most office supply places or department stores. I think I got this one at a department store. And then I trimmed out the edges with lace just to soften it up a bit so it didn't look so much like a notebook. Made it a little bit more festive and pretty. And then on the cover, to maximize my paper usage, I cut the paper to 6 inches, but the notebook is really kind of more like 7, I think, or 6.5 for the binder. So what I did was I attached it to a piece of gold cardstock to just kind of give a nice little gold border around it. And then on all of the stickers, I stitched them down so that they would stay put. This is from the branding strip of one of the papers. It's a Santa's List. I love this paper collection. It's so pretty. It's just all reds and whites and just gorgeous pops of color. So for the inside, what I did was I covered most of the white. Since the paper collection was heavy with white, I didn't fuss with covering up these pockets, but I covered this pocket on the outside. And then this is from the stamp set, and since December starts with the 1st being on a Sunday, and so does the stamp, I decided to use it as a visual reference throughout the entire book. So I would have a calendar at a glance every single place I was in the book. And then this is one of the notebooks that comes from the Teresa collection. These are the sewed journals, and I added this little piece up here at the top with some scraps and then a couple of the post-it notes. And this is a great thing to take with me, to put in my purse, to take notes on, or to keep up with the generic lists and things like that while I'm shopping. And then on this side, this is a piece of the Basil plastic paper. And I love that it helps to protect the cover of this, to keep it from getting caught in these little rings as it moves around in the page. And then all I did was take some scraps and make this little banner. Again, this is from one of the embellishment packs. This was the branding sleeve in the back. It says Santa's List, so I just made this cute little banner. How could you throw away this cute little Santa? I mean, he had to be in here. So then on the back, I just duplicated it so it was good and clear. I love that you can see through it. It adds a nice touch to this book. And then on this side, I used a pocket to make, or I used scraps to make this little pocket. And then throughout the entire book, I have these little tags that are blank. These I'm going to use on my packaging, some of them, and write my to's and froms. All of the dividers are cut from my silhouette, and I'll try and put a link to the silhouette cut file down below. And then on all of these stickers, these are from the collection. I sewed them down because with me carrying this around and touching it a lot, I didn't want the stickers to lose their sticky and come off. And then on this side, I used this, I made this little paper clip. It's a snowflake die from Tim Holtz that I cut out of felt and then added some stickles to the top, and I just covered it on both sides of the paper clip so that when it's seen, you can see it from both sides. And then it's clipping down these post-it notes from Teresa Collins. I figured these are great for, taking notes on, as well as labels on packaging. And then I just stuck these into a pocket that I made with a doily. Excuse me. So this is just a piece of white scrap from my stash that I cut into a label using a Spellbinders labels die. This is a calendar that I created in Photoshop, and I didn't want to see a month on a grid, and I prefer lists. So I did the day of the week and then 1 through 31. And then for the dates that I'm already committed for something, I went ahead and typed those on there, and then figured I could fill in everything else I needed to do. And if I need more room than what is here, I can asterisk it and then put it on the back. I can, make another list. And I can always print the calendar a second time if I need to. And then I've closed it off with a charm up at the top, little snowman. And that kind of helps to weigh it down too, to get it to move over. This is my photo page. When I do my family photo, I'd like to include that in my planner, so that year after year I can come back and see what we did last year. When you get to have teenagers, you got to be a little more creative with your family photos. Here's where I can put a picture of my tree. And then I've included several pieces of notebook paper here that I've trimmed down, and I've stamped with that December stamp. So when I'm taking notes, I have the calendar at a glance here on the note pages. And then because this is a 3-ring binder, I can pull this apart and put these wherever they go within the planner to keep me organized. So I have several of those there. I have just left this blank so I can add another picture if I want to. And then on this side, I've left these little pockets because I do intend to do a December daily journal, as you guys know. So what I've decided to do is leave a pocket for me to add some memorabilia that I collect throughout the year or throughout the month that I could add to the December daily. So as I'm working on it, I have a place for taking care of that. And then throughout the season you end up going to someone's house for a dinner or something, and there's a recipe that you really want to capture, or maybe it's a cookie exchange or something like that. So, or Pinterest this time of year, I'm constantly finding recipes there. So this is a place where I can trap a couple of recipes, and I have more of these cards so I can always add them if I fill this up. I just think it's really neat to have a place to hand write a recipe if a friend goes, oh, you just add this, 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 and this, and then you know how it goes. So then I also have this clear sleeve. This is actually a page protector for these notebooks, and I just sewed up the center here and across the top to trap in some of these sequences. These are the sequins from Teresa Collins. I think they came from another collection, but they worked perfect for this, so I just trapped them in here. And I've left this hole wide enough so a 4-inch photo could slip down in the sleeve. So again, if I want to add some things for my December daily, I certainly could do them in here. And also, it's a great place to trap like sale flyers or something like that if you want to. Then on the next sleeve is cards. And I love this postcard. I love how it has the postcard with the grid, because you're always taking lists when you're making out postcards and things. And I don't typically mail out Christmas cards. I mail out those little, photo postcards of my kids. So when I do mail them out, I really like to have a list going, a place where I can document who I did send one to, who I need to send one to, whose address do I still need, that kind of thing. And then I have a little pocket here to trap some little whatnots. And remember this, someone always says something that you need to remember, so I thought I'd jot it down on this. Another one of those cute little tags that can be added to a package. This is one of the little cards from the collection, the note cards. So it says to and from, so I thought it was a really nice way to add another little something to a gift if I need to. They fit nicely into envelopes if I want to. So it's just trapped here. Or again, if I decide I want to use it to take a note for the holiday season, I can, and this could be transferred over to my December daily easily. And then this is just a place for a list, another photograph, and then I have paper here that I use the stamp from the collection that says postcard, just to keep a list of who I plan to mail cards to. And then, it never fails. I always end up in a situation where I need a card immediately, like a thank you card or something, like I'm at work and somebody did something unexpected, or you've forgotten somebody or whatever. It's always nice to have a couple of extra cards handy, so I have some simple cards that I've made that are in this pocket. along with some envelopes, and then I made a little pocket here with this tag and put some a couple of stamps in here, just so everything's handy when I get ready to go. And if I use a card, I'll make a card and put it back in here so I have extras. Another place for a photograph, another place for a little photograph and a little comment. Like I said, these cards can be pulled out and used in my December daily if I need to. This divider is for gifts, and on the paper collection there's this little letter to Santa, which I thought was adorable, so it wouldn't fit on my divider, so I cut it into strips and added it here on the card. Then on the back side, I have trapped all the little note cards from the collection in this little library pocket that I made, and these will be my labels for my packaging, and I probably am going to slip these down inside of an envelope and put them on the packaging. I just love how pretty they are, and you can write your to and from, and then there's a little space where you can actually write a little note to someone, which I think is so cool. So I have these here for when I get ready to do my gift wrapping. I can go ahead and start making my lists and filling those out. And then on this side, another spot for a photograph, and then on this I did an envelope, and I made this with my envelope maker from We Are Memory Keepers, and then I've added a magnet so that it stays closed, so I don't have to worry about my receipts falling out. So this is a place where I can trap all of my gift receipts. And here's another little tip on the gift receipt thing. I know some of you probably thought of this, but most stores, including like Target and the mall and things like that, they'll give you gift receipts instead of giving you an actual physical receipt, which is amazing because then snoopy little kids can't figure out what you bought for them because it's on the gift receipt, and most of the time those are blank and they just have a little scan bar on them. So that's a little trick. And then just some extra notebook paper in case I need it. And then here I've added, this is one of the envelopes or one of the bags from the collection. So I just put it inside of here thinking this is a good place to trap coupons or, anything like that. Again, another spot for just a photograph or a memory or note taking. And then this has a pocket, and inside this pocket I have this little book. This is again from the collection, and I thought this would be a good place to jot down things like sizes, and this fits really nicely into your purse too. So I wasn't sure which one I would want to use more, so I put this one in there as well. And then over here I made a little, this is just a piece of the scrap that was left over, and I made this little envelope out of it. And I figured this would be a good place that I could, trap some extra coupons or extra receipts or what have you. And there you go. There's my little organizer. And again, I may not tote this in and out of every single store that I go in, but I like to leave it in my car and take pieces of it in with me. Like if I know I'm going into the mall and I need sizes, I don't necessarily need to carry all of this around. I just need a place where I can take notes and say, okay, PacSun had this, or Abercrombie had this, and write down my notes and things like that so I can go back and research what it is that I need to do. So anyway, thank you guys for sharing this project with me today, and I hope you've enjoyed it and I've inspired you, and please leave me comments.